Hello, friends.
Hello, Graham.
Hello.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you guys on. It's been a long time coming.
I've been very excited for this day.
So,
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love getting DMs from you about things that have happened on my podcast. I know you're listening. You know,
I am. I'm watching as well on YouTube.
Yes, thank you. At Graham Radio on all platforms. So enough about me. Did you both DJ last night?
I did, yes.
I did as well, yes.
Yes, and I did. Look at
Wow.
Look at all of
Hardworking
us.
men.
Casual flexing on everyone.
Booked and busy.
Okay, how much? Booked and busy. Yes. How much did we all get paid last night? No, I'm kidding. We don't have to reveal. We do not have to reveal.
I'll do it. I don't care.
This is Aiden. Hello, Aiden.
Hello.
And where'd you DJ last night?
I played at the Ritz last night. I opened up for Dr. Fresh.
Yeah, and so you just recorded your takeover in here, and before and after you recorded the takeover here on the Graham Radio Takeover Series channel, you were telling me how amazing Dr. Fresh is.
Yes, he's probably the best DJ I've ever seen. Yeah.
When it comes to transitioning and music selection.
Yeah. So he was like super low. Like I told you before, he started off at Bass House, which is like his vibe. His opening is also insane.
Is it? And
then he went to like a trap, sort of like rap vibe almost, and then to drum and bass. Or he went to drum and bass, then trap, rap, and then back down to Bass House. But it was insanely, like, technically sound. It was so cool to see.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Hoff, where were you last night?
I was at a McDin's Irish pub in Soho from 6 to 10 p.m.
So fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Are you a resident there?
I don't have like a specific day, but I get booked there like 3, 4, 5 days a month. So I mean, kind of on paper.
So I'm just gonna ask both of you guys.
Yeah.
So you know, the crowd at the Ritz, which is Aiden, where you DJ'd last night, and the crowd at McDitton's, which Hoff, that's where you DJ'd last night. Do you guys see a lot of overlap in the crowd there, like in the type of people who go to those places?
Yes and no. I definitely think that those places draw out like the younger crowds, but in my opinion, like the Ritz is way more club vibe than the bar vibe at Soho. Soho's more like the Irish pub type of place versus the Ritz is like arguably the best club in Tampa. So definitely more of the clubbier house heads / bass heads down there, and then definitely more I guess like the normal people in Soho. Not that they aren't normal, but
well, you mean you bring up a good point, because a lot of people who don't know about EDM music and they're not into house music and stuff, a lot of people are gonna go specifically to Soho to have fun and sing remixes of Taylor Swift and Morgan Wallen and stuff like that. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And then the people who go to the Ritz, I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I mean, I'm 28 right now. When I was in my early 20s, I would rather be going to places like the Ritz, and I guess in Tallahassee that would be a place like. I guess Tallahassee didn't really have that many good house. Oh no! Back in Tallahassee, you went to FSU, didn't you?
No, I went to USF.
Yeah, I don't know. Why
I've been up there multiple times. So
okay. At a place called Standard, every month they had this event called Tech Yes, and they would bring house music DJs, and a place like that. I want to go, and I'm not shitting on McDitton's at all, but I would never DJ there because I just I don't DJ open format. You know what I mean? But open format. I mean, that's such a fun style of DJing.
It is.
It is, yeah. Sometimes it gets repetitive though, because at the end of the day, people always want you to play new stuff, but when then you start playing new stuff, then they're like, oh, we want to hear stuff that we know, or words we know and stuff like that. So it kind of gets repetitive. You play a lot of the same things, especially when you're playing in a lot of the same venues, to a lot of the same age groups. Playing for 18 to 21-year-olds, you're playing the same. Yeah. Same 4-hour set, pretty much, just in a different order every week.
It's definitely though. When you play open format, I would recommend playing open format for at least a little bit to anybody, or at least learning it on your own, because it's helped me so much with all the house stuff that I've been doing as well, and it's just made me a better overall DJ.
How?
I mean, it's cool to curate a vibe. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you want to go up in BPM or go down in BPM, slow it down, and you want to play like experimental music or get into some stuff that isn't just house and gets like a crowd going. Like a bunch of DJs now have started playing drum and bass remixes at the end of their sets, or even like dubstep, which is the only way I know how to mix into that is learning open format prior.
So you're saying that learning open format can really help if you want to get into DJing house music?
House, and then like switching it up, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Like, and you're saying from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
Like from a technical standpoint, if you learn open format, you'll be a lot better at switching BPMs. Like if you want to go from house music to like if you want to go from 128 BPM to 175 BPM or lower, it will really help if you know how to do that. And a great way to learn is by DJing open format.
Yeah, and from like a confidence perspective too. Like the more you learn and mess up, the better you get. So yeah,
I'd say that's totally accurate.
Yeah.
But that's actually not what I thought you were going to say.
Would you
Hoff, I would love your commentary on this too. One thing about house music, I guess a common comment that people comment on. It's too early to talk about this. One thing that people say a lot about house music is that it's very repetitive.
Yeah.
And they say that in a negative way, but what I love about that is that the gold is in the nuances. It makes me think of Grateful Dead. You know, everybody thinks that Grateful Dead, all the songs sound the same, and these songs are 20, 30 minutes long. And in a sense, house music is very similar because in reality, it's a 4-hour set, but the entire time it's you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the beauty is in the nuances. Now, those nuances of house music, that's where the genres are. That's where you have your disco house, you have your soul house, you have your bass house, your tech house, whatever. But in open format, those genres, like if genre was on a bell curve, I guess if genres were if it's more of a pie chart, there's going to be way more genres in open format.
Sure.
Like you can go from 90s alternative rock, you're playing Dance Gavin Dance or Blink 182 or whatever, and you go to like A Milli by Lil Wayne, So what I thought you were going to say, Aiden, was it helps you sort of make the room flow. Like it help learning open format can help you understand how to go from one genre to another at the right time, which is something that, Hoff, I would imagine that how long have you been DJing like your style of music for?
I've been DJing. I kind of started open format from the beginning. I love house music. House music is definitely my favorite to mix. But in terms of the format, I kind of just started from the beginning with open format, just because I like so many different types of music, and mainly because I was DJing for my fraternity at the time. So unfortunately, everybody was listening to house music as popular as now. Back in 2019 when I first started DJing, so I kind of started with open format from the beginning, and then I kind of just continuously just kept adding to my library and just branching out, adding new genres, and just trying to build the best library that I can over time.
Well, so how do you conduct the flow? Let's say that you're DJing a 4-hour set from 6 to 10 p.m. at McDitton's, right? That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's 4 hours. How do you conduct the flow? Do you go in with a plan? Do you read the crowd? Is there some sort of combination of those two things? How exactly do you manage 4 hours at a popular bar?
So I don't really have any type of plan. I definitely create playlists and stuff like that for specific venues. So if you go through my laptop and my USBs, I have playlists for every venue as well as playlists for every genre. So I won't start off with anything in particular. I just kind of read the room. If I go in there and it's dead, I'll probably just start off with some 2000s R&B or just something simple that people can know the words to, but it's not getting the energy going. And kind of going back to the point you were bringing up earlier about the difference between the Ritz and Max is I think that a lot of people go to McDitton's for the drinks, but people go to the Ritz for the music. So when I'm playing at McDitton's, people aren't there to see me. They're there to drink, you know what I mean? And the sound system there is not like, it's not like the Ritz. It's not like people are there to really listen and immerse themselves in the music. So it's definitely a bit different. But like I said, I don't have any type of specific order I play anything in. I kind of just read the room, just jump around as much as I can. And definitely when I'm playing at those type of places, I definitely play some like older stuff. By older, I mean like 2000s, like 2010s, maybe late 90s, just depending on how the crowd is. If I see a lot of older people, I definitely will play some rock music, play something to get them going.
So you know J-Dub?
I know of him. I've honestly never met him. Actually, I met him once, to be honest, but I wouldn't say that I'm like.
Okay. So he was here for an interview a little while ago. The interview is going to come out, if not at the same time as this, soon after, or soon before. And he was talking about how when it comes to bars like that, where you're playing open format, and I love that you explain the difference, because that is a great difference between the Ritz and places in Soho. People go to Soho to drink. People go to the Ritz to listen to the music. Sending the crowd to the bar is something that actually, Wildcard.
Yeah. So I was actually with him last night.
Yeah. So Wildcard, J-Dub said that he got this information from Wildcard. How if you want to switch the room, you go from playing rap to playing Latin, or vice versa, or from country to rap, or whatever it may be, because all the people on the dance floor who were vibing to your R&B music or whatever you were just playing, now you're playing country, and they don't want to hear that, and they might give you a dirty look, but they're going to go and buy a drink. So then you're benefiting the bar. Right? Do you do anything like that? Do you cognitively think to yourself, okay, I've been playing this genre for a while, I want these people to go and buy a drink, let's switch up the vibe so that they go and do that?
Yeah, I definitely would say I do that, as well as kind of having breaks within my set. So if I play a 4-hour set, I'll try to have a small gap of time, where you bring up the energy and you bring it back down a little bit, because if you have the energy at max volumes the whole night, then people are going to be dead by midnight, you know what I mean? So you kind of got to pace everybody. You kind of got to pace the night. You can't be playing all the crazy stuff in the beginning, getting everybody too riled up in the beginning, because they're not going to have the energy at 12. So you kind of got to give people a little bit of breaks in terms of the music, play the big hits, but of course sneak a couple level 6 hits in there, so people can take a break, go grab a drink, go to the bathroom, and then come back with some more energy.
Yeah. I think that's very, very well said. I think that when everybody first starts DJing, they want to keep the level at 100 the entire time.
Yeah. I'm still there where I'm every so often I find myself just going in at it, and I have to relax a little bit, for sure.
I think it just depends on how long your set is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think if you go in there, if you go in the Ritz for an hour and a half set, you got to have the energy.
Yeah,
but if you go to somewhere you play 4 or 5 hours, then you kind of got to space things out, because if not, it's going to be just too much all at once.
I definitely, right now, I don't think I could play a 4 or 5 hour set.
Really?
And I definitely a house set. But
I'll just ask you this: if right now I booked you for a 4 or 5 hour set, how would you prepare for it?
Probably ask a bunch of people what they would do for a 4 or 5 hour set.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a great answer. Yeah, and here's my answer to that. And this is pretty much in line with what Hoff is saying. Find a lot of if I were to go and play, if I were to play a 5 hour set at Space right now, or I guess tomorrow or whatever, I would find the songs that I really, really want to make sure that I play, and then I would find similar songs that are of higher and lower energy, so that I can mix them in and really curate something that gives people the highest of the highs, and then really nice, tasteful lows,
For sure, yeah.
For Immersive Groove, which is my 2-hour weekly house music mix series, I have a lot of playlists, but the number one genre, if you want to call it a genre, that you'll hear on Immersive Groove is a genre that I call Journey, and it's these 7-8 minute songs that I start mixing in 3 minutes at a time. So pretty much every other 3 minutes, you're either going to be hearing just one song or 2 or 3 songs at a time. And Journey, it takes you on a journey. Now, within my Journey playlist, I have other playlists. I have Journey Chill. I have Journey Chill Down Tempo. I have Journey Hype. I have Journey Epic. I have Journey Big Drop. I have Journey What's Going On, which is my favorite one. Yeah. So just being able to curate a set that, but it all ties back to Journey. And I have Journey Minimal. I have Journey Tech House. Mm-hmm. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I feel like when you're curating a set, when you're making your own set, when you're making your music, you know, you have to take it back to why you started DJing. You know, like, is it just something that you do for fun? I doubt it if you've been doing it for more than 4 or 5 years. Like, you know, if you're just doing it for fun, I mean, there's lots of way more fun things to do. Mm-hmm. You must have some sort of passion for music. Yeah. It's just a fact. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, Hoff, like you told me that you started DJing in college in your fraternity, right?
Yep.
How did that happen? Like, what's the story there?
So basically, it all started where there was a DJ before me in my fraternity, and basically he graduated and he was going to law school on the same path as you.
Nice.
And he just kind of gave up on the DJing thing as well as graduated. He left, so that kind of left an open spot in my fraternity, and I always had an interest in it, but I never really had any idea what DJing was or knew anyone who really DJ'd. And at the time, like, there wasn't the best like YouTube videos, I guess, not back in the day, but there wasn't the most information online in terms of DJing, because it's definitely not as popular now as it was 4 years ago. But basically there was a gap to be filled, and I had a friend who had a board for sale, and I just pulled the trigger on a SX2 $500 board, which I still have, and I kind of just learned mainly just to be a party DJ, and then that was just before COVID. So I started in September of 2019. So I just it was just a gap that needed to be filled, and it was something that I was semi-interested in. I've always loved music, all types of music, ever since I was really young. I remember like going to middle school, high school, always have headphones in my ear on the way to school, listening to all types of music, hip-hop, especially when I was younger, especially being from Florida. But just having a passion for music and stuff like that, and then kind of just wanting to learn like the creative process of DJing as a hobby, and it kind of just led to more over time, coincidentally through kind of COVID, because what happened was during COVID, all these places closed down in March, and they didn't even reopen back until like about September. So a lot of DJs left, and a lot of DJs, they didn't have a job for 6 months, so they kind of left their spots they were at, the regular spots, they went back to getting a full-time job, or they went to a different industry because their industry was kind of dead for a moment. So that kind of created a lot of gaps and a lot of openings for people like me to just kind of get my foot in the door.
So how'd you get your foot in the door? I mean, that's interesting that you started DJing semi-near COVID. Because, I mean, even in September 2019, there were talks. I remember hearing, like, some weird new virus happening in China. I don't know what's going on. And then, so it sounds like your come-up was actually around the time of COVID.
Yeah.
So like, what was your first, I guess, breakthrough moment?
My first breakthrough moment probably would have to be Gasparilla 2020. That was probably like one of the biggest things that I ever did. So my fraternity rented out like a lot, like we do every year, and I was the DJ for that day. And we were the only fraternity that didn't get our lot shut down. So I had like probably like 1,500 people at least there. It was insane. And we built this whole stage for me to stand on and stuff like that. What happens was the sunlight, there was no roof over it, so the sunlight was just so bad on my laptop that I couldn't stand up there because I couldn't even see my laptop. So I was on the floor. But that was probably the breakthrough moment. I'd say was just like, wow, like this, like that was just like insanity. The whole day was just insane. Kind of just like controlling a crowd. Definitely could have had more speakers, but definitely it was a good time. A lot of good videos out of that.
God, I miss being in a fucking fraternity. Those like just sloppy tailgate days.
Yeah, FSU is definitely a different animal than USF, unfortunately. But
sure.
The USF people still go crazy at the tailgates, though.
Yeah. It's, you know what it is? It's a bunch of college kids drinking and having fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every state school that you go to in America, same shit, different story. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or same story, whatever the expression is.
Yeah.
Like, you're just out there all day. Everyone is wearing green or garnet and gold, whatever color your school is, and just partying. And if you're the DJ, you're the fucking man. So fun. Yeah, like I remember when I was in college, whenever we would have big parties, I would always look up at the DJ and be like, fuck, I want to be up there.
Yeah.
You know, because I've obviously always been into music as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now, Hoff, I mean, you know, every once in a while I'll see that you post like your upcoming dates, and you have many.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I can't complain. I had like in September last month I had 20 gigs. This month I only have like I think like 18 or 17, but it's because I'll be in Miami for like a weekend, so I'll be at 3 points in Miami, so I had to take off for a little bit.
So is it all Soho? I mean, I know it's not.
No,
I know it's not. I know it's not all Soho.
Yeah.
Soho, but like a significant amount of it is Soho.
Yeah, I'd say about a third of it's Soho. About another third is like USF area. That's mainly where I'm at. I kind of like do a lot of stuff over there in that USF area. And then downtown now, 511 Franklin, pretty cool spot I've been at. And then honestly, I go to Ybor just whenever. I have a lot of friends who work over there, so I can kind of reach out to them and kind of pick up spots whenever.
If you were talking to 2019 Hoff, you would like, what advice would you give that guy about networking?
I don't know. I feel like I did networking pretty right from the start. I never really, even like when I DJ, even nowadays, like I'll go DJ, and I'll take more videos of the guy DJing after me or before me than I will of like myself. So like I don't know. I've always just been one to like go out and support my friends and stuff like that, and just like, because at the end of the day, it's like not about me. You know what I mean? It's about like all of us. We're all in this together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's not about the DJ. It's about the party.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, just kind of going out and supporting people from the start, and going to the venues where the people like. The best way to do it really is to go to the venues, find out who's doing the bookings of the venues, and go out and support that person. That's like the biggest thing. Like that's like the key to networking. But definitely, if I would go back from the start, I feel like I did things pretty right in terms of networking. But definitely, that's like just the key to success, in my opinion. Networking and marketing are the two biggest things, in my opinion.
So, what advice can you give on marketing?
Marketing, the best thing about marketing is just looking as professional as you can. Like realistically, like on your Instagram, like. I don't post a lot just because my standards are just pretty high for like what I want to post, and I don't post a lot just because I don't know, I'm almost like a perfectionist in a sense, and like if it's not like an amazing video or like a super high quality picture, then I just don't even want to post it. Like I have almost 1,000 probably pictures at this point just from DJing, and I've probably posted like maybe 200 like even including stories and stuff like that. So but like marketing, like I said, just got to keep professional. Have your Instagram profile looking like you are a DJ. You know what I mean? Make it look good. It takes an hour out of your day to go in there and make your Instagram look like a professional page. You don't have to go and buy a blue check mark, but like you can just go and make it look professional. Make it look like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do, and I'm gonna make it look like I'm a professional at it.
So when it comes to being a professional DJ, like, do you consider yourself to be a professional DJ? Like, are you doing this full time? Like, do you have anything like any other jobs going on right now or no?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually like an entrepreneur really. So I actually own a couple businesses. So I own a party bus company outside of DJing. DJing, I definitely would say I'm a professional just because it's a profession, and I do make the majority of my income through DJing. So I would consider myself to be a professional in that sense. Am I the best DJ in the world, Tampa? No, of course, I'm very far from that.
Yeah, you're not Graham Radio.
Yeah, I'm very far from that. I'm still working my way up. But no, I do a lot of things actually. So I went to USF. I studied finance, and entrepreneurship is really just my passion. And right now I do a little bit of real estate, not like buying, selling houses, but I own a property with tenants and stuff like that. I own the party bus company. I DJ, and then I also work at Texas Day Brazil, which is a pretty good gig. Not gonna lie.
Ooh, the one right down.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do you do?
I'm a server. Yeah, so it's actually it's a really easy job. All you have to do is serve water and bread and desserts and make pretty good money.
Oh, that's great. I love Texas
Pretty
Day.
easy. Just gotta take care of the guests.
Okay, wait. Can I get the hookup?
Yeah. We
is that a thing?
If we all go in together, we can all get half off.
No fucking
wow.
way.
Yeah. So we'll do a little. We do a little. Next time I come, we'll do a little podcast and then go out to Texas.
Oh, I'm so about it.
Or we can go to Texas and then do a podcast after about the experience.
Or we can bring the podcasting equipment to Texas. Yeah, is that like what you call it Texas? Like you're gonna when you.
Yeah. Okay. I refer to it as Texas just because like it's just a long name, you know what I mean? But definitely, like when I'm talking to someone and I'll be like, yeah, I gotta go to Texas soon, and they're like, Texas? Like you're going to Texas? I'm like, de Brazil. Sorry.
Brazil
Yeah.
and Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I went there a while ago and just you know how it goes.
Yeah.
You just stuff yourself up. Do people ever throw out there?
Yeah, no, it definitely has happened. I actually do have a funny story about that. So this past Christmas, this guy, he stood up from his table and he literally threw up on the floor.
No.
And then this other table, this lady from another table, I swear, she walks up, she goes, "You ruined our Christmas!" Like this is on Christmas Day at Tex de Brazil. Like, I'm like,
Oh my God.
yeah, they weren't very happy. But
Have you caught people stealing?
Yeah,
Well, you know, we should clarify for people who don't know. Can you explain how Texas de Brazil works?
Yeah, so Texas de Brazil is a Brazilian American steakhouse. It's all you can eat steaks, all you can eat salad, all you can eat sides. We're at Texas de Brazil podcast. So basically, yeah, you go in there. It's all you can eat. It's $59 a person. It's a little bit pricey, but in the area it's in, you can't get a fillet for less than $50 alone. So it's a good deal on paper when you realize what you get. So it's all you can eat. And you cannot take a to-go box, so you got to eat whatever you can there. You have a 2-hour time limit. We don't put like a timer on the table, but like the manager will kick you out after 2 hours if you've been there for a while. So people have definitely tried to take stuff for sure, and you kind of got to let them know because
Really?
yeah, because like if you call someone out for stealing, like you're not gonna tip you, and at the end of the day, it's not them stealing 4 pieces of sirloin. Like it's not worth me losing, like a $50-$60 tip. So, but it doesn't happen very often. I've only ever seen it happen a couple times, and I have seen camera footage of our restaurant. People literally would put their napkin over their plate, and they literally they scurried out of the restaurant. So it's definitely been a couple experiences.
And they scurry and they've scurried.
Like a cartoon.
But would that be like a dine and dash though?
No, they paid, but they wanted to take their plate to go. They took the actual plate too.
And they
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if I were to do, I mean, like the thing is, like I would go and have my fun and eat all you can eat, and it'd be great. But I can totally understand the desire to want to take a bunch of it home because it's all you can eat. What's the difference?
Yeah. So people don't.
So you've seen it happen before. What have you seen before? Like, how do you know that you've seen that?
So people will be like, "Oh, can I get a kid's cup?" Like with nothing, they're just like, "Can I get a kid's cup?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I bring them a kid's cup, and then like next thing you know, like I'm 15 feet away, and they're like putting stuff in their purse, like meats in their purse. It's only happened like once or twice, but yeah, no, you definitely notice stuff. People put a gallon bag in their purse, but I've never noticed anybody stealing like a significant amount. Like if I saw someone like loading it up, that's a different story. I'll have to tell your manager about that one, but like it was just a couple pieces of meat here and there. Like I don't know. It's funny too because people don't understand that there's no to-go boxes. So what they'll do is they'll load up their plates before they go and like, "I'll take a box, please." And then I'm like, "No." So yeah, I'm like, "We don't do to-go."
What's the reaction? Do people get pissed?
They're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, really. I'm sorry."
Oh my God.
I'm like, they just don't understand. Like the place would be losing money if people were taking to-go boxes. Yeah, let me get 10 pieces of filet before I head out. Like so they just on paper it wouldn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to do that, I would bring the thing is like if you're like a female and you bring a purse and I guess you line the purse with like a plastic bag or something, you can just like swipe shit in there.
Yeah, slowly. It's just not worth it. It's just kind of embarrassing, like to go steal like $10 worth of steak from like a steakhouse. I don't know. In my opinion,
it is embarrassing, but like I don't know, the fucking rush just gets me so hyped.
The adrenaline pumping.
The adrenaline pump at Texas de Brazil.
Meat, sweats, and adrenaline.
Oh God,
that's so funny, dude. When it comes to tying it back into like DJing and stuff, like, do you see yourself like eventually? Do you see yourself And there's nothing wrong with like treating DJing and like it as a business, like because it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's you work in a party bus company. You're DJing. You have all these dates that you're DJing. Another route that a lot of people take is like making music and stuff like that. Like, do you have any intentions to like be like an artist? Like, is that in the purview of Hoff?
Yeah, so I do mess around with Ableton a bit. I honestly have not put anything out there just because I just don't feel like it's quality enough to release. And I'm a type of person who would just rather not put it out than to release something and then look back a year later and be like, man, that was terrible. Why did I put that out there? And I think I was listening to one of your podcasts a couple weeks ago. I think you said that like for you it's a bit different. You rather just put stuff out there continuously, like no matter what the quality is. Of course, you have your standards, but I think that like it kind of helps you grow too as well. It's kind of putting mixes out like every week. You know what I mean? The beginning it might not have been your best mix, but 20 mixes in, like you're like, wow, this thing's killer. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would love to get to that level, but it's just a commitment. And honestly, like another big thing is I don't want to be famous. I know I'm on this podcast, which is probably gonna make me pretty famous, but I don't know. The whole lifestyle just doesn't seem the most appealing. In terms of like the fame, I don't think it's really
there's a great quote I forgot who said the worst part about being famous is being famous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I don't want to have like a bodyguard, you know. Like I think that the person with the perfect, I don't know, I've said this on podcasts before. You guys know Schoolboy Q?
Yes.
I don't.
Okay,
I'm a fan of Schoolboy Q.
Okay, my point exactly. Like Schoolboy Q is a rapper. He has songs with Kendrick. He was famous really in like 2013 era around that time, but he has a massive following. Like he can have a full tour. He can go all across America touring. But it's like if he's in an airport, like not that many people are going to come up to him. Maybe like a couple people might come up to him.
I was on a flight with Sean Kingston the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty.
Did you say hi?
No, I didn't.
Was his girl a beautiful girl?
He didn't have a girl. He actually was sitting in first class, and his whole team was sitting like
no
in
way.
the back. Yeah.
I saw Johnny Knoxville in an airport once when I was really little. I have a picture with him.
That's pretty cool.
And Fat Joe. I was a little bit older, but I was like I think in like 6th grade, and I took a picture with Fat Joe. Fat Joe, he had a huge scar on his neck. Like it looked like he had been stabbed in his neck or something. Like I kept
possible,
because I was on the plane. I was sitting a few rows behind him, and I kept on like looking at like the back of his neck. I'm like, oh my god, Fat Joe, are you okay? Yeah. And that was when I was super into lean back, come on, and then don't dance, you put the pants, do the rock away, and lean back.
Acapella going crazy.
Yeah. I actually remember he put his arm around me, and I was like so nervous. Like, hi.
But yeah, back to the DJing thing.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. Like I think it's a bit different nowadays for DJs because DJing has become so popular that like. And with social media, people know what DJs look like nowadays. But back in the 2005, 2010s, even 2015s, nobody knew what these DJs looked like. They were just, they weren't on these crazy stages with like videos of their face on 50-foot walls and all over TikTok and social media, like pictures of their faces in Times Square. So I think that now the way that that DJ media has kind of gone is that DJs are almost like the modern day rock stars, and like kind of how like AC/DC was and Queen back in the day, like the old rock and roll rock stars.
Today it's Fisher.
Yeah, today it's Fisher, Chris Lakes, the John Summits. It's those guys who are the modern day rock stars. They're living the party life. You know what I mean? They're going out, having fun, touring the world. You know what I mean? They're surrounded by women. They're surrounded. You know what I mean? That's just like that's a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really trippy being in the same room as a famous person. Like a really famous person.
When I talked to Tony, Dr. Fresh, yesterday, it was humbling.
Tony.
Yeah. Tony.
Your boy, Tony?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know his name. I'm like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. And he's like, what's up? I'm Tony. I'm like, oh, okay. And like kind of took me a second. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of ruins the magic of the DJing.
Yeah. Nah. He's a super nice guy, though.
Yeah, you should have looked at him and been like, oh, I thought you were Dr. Fresh, and then like walked away.
Is he an actual doctor?
Is Dr. Fresh here yet? Or
Yeah, is he an actual doctor? Did you ask him?
I was gonna ask somebody else, but I didn't.
You know, I bet that if you asked him that, he probably has a funny answer to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure so many people ask him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed doctor. It's crazy.
Walk up to him and say that.
Where'd you go to school?
Yeah. USF.
So you chatted with Tony last night.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I just said like it's trippy to be in the same room as like a famous person.
Yeah.
Like when a famous person walks into a room, like everyone's here to see Mochok, and then Mochok walks into the room.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an air of like, okay, be cool. You know what I mean? Like everybody be cool.
It was actually cool too because he got there right when Mike's set started, which was like 11:30. So he was there, like up on the stage, just watching Mike, going back to the green room, watching Mike. But he was supporting his support too.
That's awesome.
Which was really cool to see. Yeah, and then Chill, who was his opener, Chill, I think. Yeah.
I think Chill has a great remix of "Mercy" by Kanye West. I'm like very certain. I'm like very sure of that. I found Chill through a TikTok that she posted where she remixed Mercy, and I have Mercy. I play that when I play at like popular bars and stuff.
Yeah. She was really good too. She played I talked to her after. She played. I thought it was Crazy Frog, but it wasn't Crazy Frog. It was one of those songs where like dun, 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 dun. Yeah. But,
we like to party.
Yeah.
That's
what it is. That's what it was. Yeah.
Big Boys.
That was nuts last night, and she fitted into her set really well as well.
Nice.
Like, it was. I don't know. She was a different vibe, but definitely like her own personality, which was dope.
So I'll ask you sort of the same question that I asked Hoff. I mean, when it comes to your intentions in with my daughter, with like DJing and producing and stuff. I mean, like so Hoff. I know you graduated from USF, and then you're currently a student at USF,
U Tampa,
at UT. Yeah. So like, what are your and the thing is, it's funny. It's like, we all went to college, we're all in school, but none of us are talking about our careers right now, even though we all have careers. We all have this like really fun passion that we're treating very professionally, which is great. I mean, one thing that I love about being a DJ is that you can literally use it to financially benefit yourself. Like, yesterday at the Postcard Inn, I made like a nice chunk of change. I didn't make like a bajillion freaking dollars, but I made it's a nice paycheck. And it's the same thing with the Ritz, same thing with McDitton's, whatever it may be. And I love that about it, but it's like there's so many avenues to take with DJing, because like, I mean, do you guys know who Joe K is? Okay, so Joe K runs Selection. I'm a huge fan of Selection. There's a lot of Selection stuff in this apartment. I have a ton of merch. I'm a big fan. Selection, Joe K himself runs Selection. Joe K is a DJ. He actually has like Joe K's slowed edits, which he takes songs and he like makes them like slow and like R&B style. Like, it's really, really cool. He kind of puts that like really low pitch sound on songs, and it's cool. But like, I wouldn't necessarily call him an a musical artist, even though I mean his DJing is stellar and 10 out of 10 and incredible. With Hoff, with like what you're explaining, I mean, like, you're very much like an entrepreneur in this game. Like, you're DJing, you're doing all these businesses and stuff. Like, where do you stand with it? Like, do you want to all of a sudden like stop DJing, just focus on production and your career? Like, do you think that you'll stick with this forever? Like, is this a fun thing for you to do in college? In 15 years, do you see yourself headlining at Bonnaroo? Like what exactly do you see yourself doing?
So I definitely want to get into production. I love DJing. DJing's awesome, but I've started to turn down more open format gigs recently too, which it sucks because I'm a broke college kid, need money, but I also have a job as well, so I'm
What's your
fine
job?
with that. I work at Ivy Rose.
Yeah, well,
I DJ and I work there.
He does more than that. He does a lot. Every time I go there, he's doing something different.
What do you do there?
I work door mostly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I actually one time some kid walked up with Hoff's ID.
Yeah, it's actually a really funny story.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so this actually happened twice.
And no.
A different club too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So so there's this kid in Tallahassee. I used to have fake IDs, of course, and I gave him my 2 fake IDs. He didn't even really look like me, but it's Tallahassee. I'm sure you know how it is. So I gave him my 2 IDs, and I'm like, all right, he lives in Tallahassee. No one's gonna know me up there. What happens is that kid turned 21, and he gave the IDs to some random kid, and that random kid just happens to live in Tampa, and it just happens to go out to the places I DJ at.
Oh my gosh.
So this kid uses my fake ID with my picture on it, my name on it, everything on there, at this place called Mint Cocktail Club, which is a place I DJ at. The managers are like, "Are you stupid?" Like I wasn't working that night, but like they're like, "Yeah, this kid literally works here. Like you're trying to use his ID, and so they took his ID." And the manager gave it to me. He's like, "Oh, some kid tried to use your ID." I honestly had no idea who it was.
No way. So you got that ID back?
Yes,
How many
yes.
years had it been?
I mean, it probably was since I was 21, so about like 2.5 years.
That's hysterical.
And then a month later, I go to Ivy Rose just to hang out. And were you on door?
So he walked up and he was like, I was like, yo, some kid tried to use your ID earlier. He's like, no way. And it was pretty busy at the time. He was like, all right, come inside when you can. We'll try to find him. I like walk inside, point the kid out, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I walked up to him. I'm like, yo, you using my ID to get in? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the bouncer said you're using my ID to get in. He's like, and then he pulled it out of his pocket. I'm like, yeah, I need that. I'm gonna need to take that. He's like, come on, man, you can't take it from me. I'm like, you're like using a fraudulent ID with my name on it at bars that I work at. Like, I need to take it back. So I took it back, and he was pretty butthurt about it. You could tell. Yeah. You could see it in his eyes. But
well, it's a good thing that he didn't like escalate it to a fight.
I don't know. I'm not really a fighter. I don't know why. No,
I'm saying it's a good thing.
Yeah,
that
he
did for sure. Yeah,
but I don't know. I try to be reasonable about the situation, but and I don't know. Since I worked there, I kind of had like security on my back. Like I can just, in theory, I could possibly get that kid like blacklisted from the venue if I really wanted to. But I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? As long as he was cool about it, just gave my ID back. I wasn't giving a hard time.
That's so funny.
It was So
great story.
I got them
great
all back
story.
now.
Yeah. That was a funny night.
Yeah.
So okay, but still, I want to stick with this though. Like what are your intentions with being DJing and the music industry and things like that?
Yeah. So like I said, I want to get into production. Definitely playing at the Ritz last night was eye opening for me to see like how many people were there supporting me and all the other artists that played last night. I think DJing is starting to get I like to play music to people where I can put them onto music, which is more of those house gigs that I'd be getting booked for, but also putting people onto music when you're playing open format is kind of a slippery slope, because if you start to go too far into it, if you start to go too far into it, you end up playing shit that people don't want to hear as well.
Right.
So, and I think when you do play at places like the Ritz or PCI, you definitely have way more leeway with what you can play.
Well, you'd be surprised. I've actually gotten in trouble for playing certain things at PCI. Like at PCI, I mean, so for the listeners, PCI is the postcard in. Emphasis on the word in. It is not the postcard bar. It is the postcard in. Now, obviously, if you live in Tampa or St. Pete and you've been to PCI, you probably don't think that playing music with bad words would be a problem, because it's like a rowdy beach bar, you know? But it is a hotel with a family-oriented pool right next to the bar. So, like, even though, you know, there's, like, wild and crazy, like, it's fun at the bar. I mean, it's amazing. PCI is lit. There's also this aspect of, okay, you also need to keep it clean. So, this is probably a year ago. When I first started playing at PCI, I think I need to blow my nose. I played some music with some bad words. And actually, here's the full story. I started playing at PCI, and I was fully prepared. I had all these like house music songs that were remixes of popular songs. You know, every genre. You know, rap, R&B, even some country. But all house music, because that was the rule. Like you have to. It has to be fun house, like fun, sexy house. So I did that. And I was like I ain't got no type. You know that song, Ray Shremmerd. Yeah. So how do you say? Quick sidebar. How do you say it? Ray Smembered.
Ray Shremmer.
Ray.
Yeah, it's eardrummers backwards.
Yeah. My buddy told me that. Ray Shremmerd. So isn't that cool? Eardrummers backwards, right? Isn't that?
So if you write it down and you read it backwards.
Oh, okay.
It's like
It's cool.
I don't know what the word's called, but like when a word's like
Backwards.
backwards.
A backward word.
Yeah. What do you say?
I think it's a homophone. No, it's not.
Yeah. What'd you call me?
So, I was playing that song, and there are bad words in that song. And I didn't realize that I wasn't allowed to play that song. But like I played it a few times. The crowd loved it. No problem at all. A few weeks later, I was playing just like rap. Like I was playing like a popular rap song, which I know that I'm not allowed to do. It's literally like they tell me like do not do that. But I was playing it, and you know what? Sorry, my bad. You know I'm not. Oops. You know it's an oops. Every once in a while you make an oops. That was an oops on my part, and I immediately got texted like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Stop right now. You need to switch it up." Which, great. You know, like, it's not like I wasn't warned. You know, it's not like this is like some big surprise that I'm not supposed to be playing rap music. So I stopped playing rap, and then so I started playing a house music song, and the house music song had explicit words in it. And they were like, hey, stop doing this. So, like, after that happened, and after I got, like, because it sucks getting in trouble.
Yeah.
How much does it suck to, like, you messed up, there's no excuse here, you did something wrong, oops, and now people are mad at you.
Should we talk about the time we got in trouble?
Is this PTL related?
Yeah.
We got in trouble. In trouble.
They were mad that we brought out people that didn't play open format.
They were?
They were. I don't remember that, but we will get into that. We will get. So for the listeners, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for getting this deep into the podcast. But also, you're probably wondering, how did we all meet? We met at PTL, which is a club in Tampa, and we're gonna get into all that.
Okay. Yeah.
So now I for PCI, I make sure that my shit is clean, which is no pun intended because that's a bad word. But I make sure that my music is very, very clean when I go to PCI, and that it's just fun, exciting house. You know. Okay, so let's talk about PTL. PTL is not the same thing as PCI. PCI is the postcard in, and I just talked about that. PTL is a completely different entity. It is a completely different bar. It is for people who have been with Graham Radio for a while. It's a club. Yeah. You might remember Playhouse. I was like really, really gung ho about Playhouse. Come to Playhouse, pick your name out of a bucket. You'll be able to DJ for 15 minutes. It was fun. You know, it's a fun thing. It's a lot of editing, which is kind of why I'm not doing it anymore. But I have other ideas to do it in different ways. But that's neither here nor there. There was a night, and how do we explain this night? So it open decks.
It was open decks. That's what they classified it as. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's all sort of like explain this.
How we got there.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually you two at first.
Yeah,
it was.
It was kind of, I think it was me at first.
Yeah.
So the owner, one of the owners, he doesn't work there anymore. I won't mention him, but he had called me and said, "Hey, like, I want to get you in on these nights and stuff like that." And he's like, "I have an idea. What if we do like an open deck night where we kind of highlight like new and upcoming artists in the Tampa area, and kind of give these kids an opportunity to to kind of reach an audience." So he said, what I want you to do is I want you guys to find 10 DJs or whatever. We're going to give them 15 minutes each, 30 minutes each, and they're going to come out, DJ, and we're going to kind of have this kind of get people out. You know what I mean? Hopefully each DJ brings 5-10 people to come see them. So the owner said, let's do this. And then he was like, all right, I have this great guy who's been working there for a bit named Aiden, and that's how I met him. He was kind of with me for the night. And they're like, are you an MC? I'm honestly not a big mic guy. I don't really use the mic a lot, ironically, as I'm talking to a mic. But like we have this guy named Graham. He has this, I don't know if they knew about the podcast at the time. But
yeah. So the way that I got into it was I DM'd PTL and I said, hey, I would love to have you for an interview in here. And they said, oh, like I don't remember exactly what they said, but what that turned into was, we would love it if you did like a monthly night here. If you had like a monthly night here. So I did Playhouse, which was super fun, the first Playhouse. And the entire time I'm on the mic, I'm talking, I'm making the crowd laugh. I brought out probably like, I would say 40 people, something like that in total. And it was fun. You know, so they had that connection to me through Playhouse, and I think I had already done a second Playhouse there as well, and then they asked me like, oh, on I don't remember the date. Let's just say the date was, I don't know, April 15th or whatever it was. Like on April 15th, we're having a show. Have you heard of Hoff? I'm like, I haven't, but put me in contact. We got in contact, and it's like an open decks night. And my plan was I'm going to MC it and record the whole thing. So the night went terribly wrong.
Hey, where do you want to start?
Yeah,
well, first of all, I was supposed to be there, and then I ended up getting a last minute gig too. So I left for a little bit.
That's right, Ivy.
Yeah.
There was a point in the night where I was kind of left there by myself.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
That was also the first night Pushman played at the Ritz.
That was the first night that Pushman played at the Ritz. That's right.
Should we explain to what?
That's very loud. Hold on. Let me just get this really quick.
You're listening to Graham Radio,
Yeah,
sponsored by Nightlife Express.
Hey, Muff, you're on the podcast. Hi. What's going on?
Okay, I just wanted a status update because I need to go switch our laundry.
You can come in, get my phone, and switch the laundry.
Okay, wonderful. Have fun.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Damn, I'd kill for an assistant.
Yeah. I call my girlfriend Muff.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
Whatever. I love her. It's short.
We can cut that out.
No. I want the people to know.
Yeah.
Let them know.
It's short for muffin.
See, I guess we can kind of explain how this whole.
Okay, so I think that what ended up happening was this: about 10 DJs showed up, and like 4 of them had laptops.
Which I told them they could bring.
Yeah, I did too. Or
Yeah.
one of us did.
Yeah.
It was.
I think that
known
I told them
they
that
could-
too.
Yeah,
We all
it was
did.
known that they could bring laptops.
Yeah.
I had never connected a laptop to a DJ system. I thought that it would not be an issue. It was a huge issue.
I actually learned why it was an issue like a week ago. Like the reason why they wouldn't connect is because you need 3 separate USB-Bs or whatever they are, the chunky one that goes in the back.
Yeah.
You need to have one connected to each CDJ and one connected to the mixer itself, because they're all independent units and they're not connected to each other. The 2 CDJs are connected through like the Ethernet cable, but nothing's connected to the mixer besides the RCA inputs and outputs. So realistically, there's nothing to connect the CDJ software to your computer unless you have a direct link going into it. So you have to have 3 different cables running off a hub off of your computer. So it's definitely a bit of a hassle. So the reason nothing was ever connecting was because they were only connecting to the mixer and not the actual 2 CDJs. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole.
Well, I wish we knew that at the time.
Yeah.
Because at the time, it was a huge issue to
Very
do
big.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and keep in mind, we have 10 DJs. Everyone has a 15-minute slot, and it takes like 20 minutes to figure out the laptop situation. Yeah. So, like, we're running way behind schedule. People are getting really pissed. Like, people were actually getting pissed. Like, certain DJs who I will remain unnamed, what's going on? Yeah. Like, what's going on with this? Like, why? Mm-hmm. So, and meanwhile, 0 crowd.
Oh, yeah. It was if I'm not wrong, it was a Thursday.
It was Thursday. Yeah, for sure.
It was a Thursday.
Pushman was next.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Pushman.
Shout out Pushman.
Shout out to Mike Pushman. Come out to the Ritz on Thursdays. Push. Okay, sorry, that's terrible.
I was waiting for the sound effect.
No, well, you guys aren't wearing. It's a. Here, I'll audibly say the sound effect. Come out to the Ritz on Thursdays and see Mike Pushman play. It's so crazy.
But Thursday's a busy night in Ybor.
Yeah,
So
and the Ritz is right next to PTL.
Yeah.
So in theory, I mean, like the overflow from Ritz would go to PTL.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Tangra
But the problem is, if there's 10 DJs and they're all like waiting to DJ and no one's DJing and it's quiet because we can't figure out how to connect a laptop to a DJM 900, then they're just going to leave and go to Crowbar or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think the issue was, on paper, it sounded like a cool idea, but on application, I guess that's the best way to put it.
In application,
yeah. It just didn't work out because the owners basically said, hey, I need you guys to find 10, 15 DJs who coincidentally don't have anything going on and don't have any other gigs, because, I mean, realistically, any DJ who has any sort of talent and a bit of networking like is getting a paid gig. You know what I mean, on a certain day.
Right.
So
Hey. Here you go.
So I think what happens is they were like, "Hey, I need you guys to find these DJs," but like everyone we got was very inexperienced, and that's kind of what we were under the impression that they wanted. They wanted people who are new and upcoming and learning. And like I said, realistically, like if you are a half decent DJ who's been DJing for like at least like a year, you know what I mean, there's a good chance that you're not really wanting to go out to a bar for 30 minutes of your time for $0.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Also, when you label an event open decks, it kind of, in my experience, kind of gives the impression like, yeah, you want them to impress the club, but also it's practice for the DJs to get to know CDJs. So.
Right. Yes. That is very, very accurate. And also something that is like interesting about like PTL in particular is that, I mean, like as I'm sure we can all agree, and I'm sure if the PTL people were like sitting here, they would probably agree with that too. Like they're very profit motivated. Like they're very
much so.
They're
100%.
they are very, very profit motivated. Like they don't really like oh, fuck, this camera's about to turn off. Hold on one second. Oh my god, my leg.
Not the Hoff feed. Dude, those are some crazy calves, I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you, bro.
You do
Dude.
got some nice calves, Graham.
You work out, bro?
I do work out.
What about me? No.
I don't know, bro. He's going crazy over there.
Yeah,
Bro he skips arm day.
Hey, you can't tell. I have a sweater on. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. And he's back. Okay.
And we're back, guys. Welcome to the Graham Radio Podcast after a short intermission.
No, that wasn't even an intermission. That'll all be. Yeah. So yeah, like back to PTL. Like one thing about them, and I'm certain that if they were sitting here right now, they would agree. They are profit motivated.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there was like some whole drama with like late night flights. Like this is like a year ago. So who cares? You know, no one cares. Everyone, whatever. But like a big issue is like, or not a big issue. They don't necessarily care what music is being played. They care that people are walking through the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. Open decks, and I am certain that they learned this on that night. Open decks is not the event to get people through the door.
Yes.
Like, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. No, especially not to be able to compete with those other two clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I think that just like in general, that might not have been the best night to like get people through the door because that was Pushman's first night DJing at the Ritz, which people are really excited about.
Yeah.
I wasn't the first night. No.
It was the
not?
first or second
No,
week.
I was at the first night they opened. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It was
I feel
like the
like
week
I was-
after.
yeah, it was very soon after
Was
he
it soon
started.
after?
Yeah, no, it was about like 2 weeks after because the Ritz Thursday started on March 3rd or something like that. I played the first night and then I went to Dallas to go buy the party bus.
Well, when you say Dallas, do you mean Texas?
Yes, I mean yes. not Dallas de Brazil. No, but I flew to Dallas to buy the bus. But basically, that's when I talked to one of the owners about doing the night PTL. I remember I was literally in my hotel in like New Orleans like the next day, and where he gave us the idea of the open deck thing, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, whatever. And then I don't really remember where I was going with this.
It's okay, whatever. Yeah, like long story short, like, you know, I've never owned a club, I've never been a nightclub manager or anything like that, but based off of what I've seen, specifically from M-Bird, like what I've seen from that, like, you know, DJ Camo crushing it at M-Bird, he has slowly developed that venue. Like, it's taken a while, but every single Thursday, people go to M-Bird for the music. Like, it is a beautiful venue. It's awesome. And he specifically picks DJs that are going to play the right music to play. So, if you're serious about, like, developing a venue, you know, like, have a consistent night with consistent marketing. You know, like, let's say that I was, you know, DJing Club Graham or whatever the hell. Like, if I wanted to build Club Graham in Tampa, you know, every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I would do the same exact thing. I would have Thursday night is the house night. Friday night is like the more chill night that people can come to socialize. Saturday is like the poppin' night. You know, whatever. And then Sunday, you know, is brunch. I don't know. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know like PTL's status now, and I'm sure that they're doing totally fine. Like I literally have no idea. But you know, every place has its kinks. You know, well, you made a funny face. Do you not agree?
I mean, I don't know. I have a friend of mine who works at Texas de Brazil. He also is a bartender at PTL. He's been there since like one of the opening days, and I don't know. I think what you said is accurate. I think they definitely are very money hungry, and I get it. You're in a business that costs a lot of money. Your goal is to make money, of course, but you can't be only focusing on the money, because if you only focus on the money, then eventually the people are going to run away because you're only focusing on, you know, collecting their money. You're not really building that atmosphere, like you said.
Right.
And that's kind of like the biggest thing. And I think that they were too impatient to build a night on what they were trying to do. I
agree with that.
I think they had a good idea, but what happens is at PTL there's like 4 or 5 managers, and they all have kind of different ideas of what they want to do and where they want their vision to be. And I think that they had a lot of creative differences, and I think that the money was definitely the biggest thing. And I get it. You're at a place that probably costs a lot of money, and I'm sure they probably dumped probably close to $1 million in that place, realistically.
Yeah.
I mean, at least, you know what I mean?
No, I would be shocked if
they bought the place, so you're not going to buy that place for less than $500K. I mean, that place.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Depending where it is. And then obviously the little bit of renovations. I don't know how much they did, to be honest. I never went to the club prior.
I just remember I was asked, like, because after I did that the Playhouse, they were like, hey, you can host like rap nights, and you can host like battle raps, and you can host like this and that. And it's like, I just remember looking at them and I was like, you know, Graham Radio is house music.
Mm-hmm.
Like Graham, that's what it is. Like these are all fun ideas, but it's like, I felt like I was being. One thing that I cannot stand is when someone asks me to do work for no money, for little or no money. Mm-hmm. And I just remember having conversations with these guys. Like, they ask me to do something, like host a night, and I say, okay, how much are you going to pay me? And they're like, oh, payment, huh? What do you mean? I would say like $200. They would be like, how about 50? And
that's the same thing happened with me, and that's why I wasn't really happy with them and never really wanted to work with them
exactly.
again. They're like, hey, we want you to come here. We're gonna do this open deck night from 9 to 2. We need you here at 8 to help make sure everything's set up, and we need you here till 2. We're gonna give you $100. And I'm like, I gotta go take off a night somewhere else where I'm making $300 plus like incentives to go make $100 to.
Yeah. That's a minimum wage job, basically.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Just, you can add phones to it.
Not without your face. No, I can't.
Really? Okay. One thing that's really fun about Captiva Club Apartments, or shit, I shouldn't have said that. Fuck, I have to go in. I really try not to edit this.
One thing about here's my address. Fuck.
One thing about
Damn it.
apartment number 900.
Whatever. I'll go into it and edit it. One thing about the place that I live is that it does not have freaking in-unit washer dryer, which is so annoying.
It's criminal.
Like, you would think as a fucking attorney, I would have in-unit washer dryer. You want to hear why it doesn't have in-unit washer dryer? When I was like getting this apartment, like I just didn't think about it. Like, I just didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah, the lawyer money just throws away his clothes after he wears them once. That was like a lawyer laugh too. Yeah. I have more money than you laugh.
Yeah, that's so annoying. But yeah, you know, if you want to build out a night, you have to like be patient.
Yeah, patience definitely I think is key. Patience and like you said, marketing a bit too, like kind of marketing the same kind of vibe. If you look at, like you said, Ember, they have pretty much a similar flyer, kind of a different color scheme every so often.
Yeah, for years.
For the Thursdays, yeah. And I think the biggest difference between Mbird and PTL though is I think the location plays a big role as well as atmosphere. The atmosphere of Mbird is completely different than the atmosphere of PTL.
PTL is like kind of gross.
I mean, yeah, you're just in like a dark nightclub.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak negatively on them, but like, it's just you're inside of a dark nightclub, and it's just the vibe of what it is. It's a dark nightclub, no windows. It's like being like, you know what I mean, like in like a casino. You can't see outside. Versus at Bird, You're looking at the downtown Tampa skyline.
I mean, like
Riverwalk.
Okay, fair. I mean, like
They're
it's gross in the sense that like the Ritz is also kind of gross in this. That's kind of what I mean.
I feel you.
Yeah, like I mean, like the Clydes and Standard. It's like sticky floors. Well, I'm not saying it's like disgusting to look at or anything. It's just like
for sure.
It's hard to keep a place like that clean.
Yeah.
Like the only club that I know that keeps it really, really clean is actually Club Space. Like while you're at Club Space, there are people walking around with mops.
Yeah.
Like 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m.
Pushing you out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Really?
And they're sweeping up in front of
Flashlights
you.
and stuff like picking up trash. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great, and that club stays very clean. It's like it's insanely. It's hard to keep a place like that clean like that, but they do somehow, which is amazing. They have the budget for it. I mean, shit.
Yeah. I don't know how much tables are there, but I'm assuming you spend.
I actually know exactly how much. My buddies are my buddy Nico is getting married actually this upcoming weekend, and instead of a reception, they're doing Club Space, and we rented out 3 tables.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and each table was about. Let me do the math. Hold on. Okay, just
What's the number?
Okay, it's 36 people, $300 a pop.
Each person pays $300.
Each person. Like I paid $300 for me, and I paid $300 for Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's 36 times 300? So someone asked Siri.
What's 36 times 300?
Well, you didn't say, "Hey Siri." Oh, whoa, nice.
$10,800.
Yeah.
So $3,000 a table. Honestly, it's not as crazy as expected for Miami, especially when like places like 11 got like
And you know what?
10,000 minimums, 20,000 minimums.
I should also mention, it's not like the prime area. Like, okay, if you've been to Club Space, there's the tables on the side, like on the terrace on the sides.
The DJ booth.
This is the one that's on the terrace, like behind the middle bar.
Okay. So the opposite side.
Yes.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think we got 3 tables.
Okay.
So it's 3 tables, 36 people, $300 a person. So do the math. You do the listeners. You do the math. And it's Jamie Jones and the Martinez brothers.
Oh,
let's go.
I was gonna say
It's gonna be a long morning.
Oh yeah, and me and Amanda have a that's actually gonna be a crazy weekend. On Friday, I'm DJing at Higher Ground, which is in Wynwood, and that's like my same.
With the venue Higher Ground.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant for Diplo's Higher Ground, and I was like, what?
No, that would be sick.
That'd be crazy.
But the venue Higher Ground in Wynwood, my buddy Nico is getting married, and like the after party, like it's like a 2-night after party thing. On the Friday event is Higher Ground, and I'm DJing, which is gonna be really, really, really fun. And then the next night is Space. And then we're gonna be there until freaking 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And then at like 4 in the afternoon on that Sunday, we have like another engagement party. That's just like late 20s vibes. Like
you're gonna be crawling into that party.
Yeah, it's gonna be
half awake.
It's gonna be ridiculous. But yeah, we've been going for over an hour now. I think this has been a wonderful podcast.
Yes, we're really ending this right now, man.
What do you want to preach, man?
No, I don't got anything to preach. I'm not a preacher.
That was wonderful. That was real. That was wonderful. Aiden spun before the pod. You're gonna spin right now. For the listeners, thank you so much for listening. Friends, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Aiden Warner at 8DN Music. Yeah, pretty much only active on Instagram. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Hoff Music on Instagram. It's really my only social media that I kind of keep updated for the most part.
Okay, friends, that was wonderful. And Hoffman is about to throw it down for an hour on the Takeover series, which is very exciting. For the listeners, I love you. Peace.
What?
Okay, we're done.